All right, everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for coming here and hope you guys have a great lunch. And it's a bit challenging, right? Because the session is totally after lunch, but happy to meet all of you guys here. And let me welcome Ms. Vandana, is the director of Unilever Indonesia, and AJ, Emmanuel James, is the client president of Wavemaker Indonesia. Okay, so for today, context is we want to talk about AI especially. Where can we deliver AI and also how can we adapt with the challenge that we are facing nowadays, especially in a day-to-day campaign and also how to drive it along the way within the purpose and also the results that brand and also agency wants to achieve. And at the very first, let me start with my slides. All right. So basically, this is we get from our AI technology back then in DV. If you guys here remember that we are facing increasing brand suitability violations trend a few months ago during the protest of the parliament. And as we can see in the slides, the trend is spiking literally in only 10 days. It started on 21st of August until the very 1st of September. And it increases like twice in a really short-term period. And it's a challenge for all of us here. And that's why within the AI itself, I will ask a question first for Vandana and AJ about the challenges with AI. With the surge of AI-generated content and the rise of closed digital ecosystem, how are you navigating the challenge of ensuring brand suitability while still being able to accurately measure and also optimize campaign performance across the walled gardens? Perhaps Vandana first.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and really an honor to talk about a topic on AI, which is evolving as we speak and moving so fast in its space. Let me first start by talking about the context in which we are building brands in Unilever. And then I will talk about how we're using AI for brand suitability, for brand safety. So at Unilever, we are building desire at scale on our brands. And this means that we need to meet our consumers where the consumer is, where they are interacting, and where they are really engaging. It requires us to adopt a social first mindset, which we are with the 4V model that we have called out. The 4V model is all about volume of content that we deploy, the velocity at which it needs to be deployed, in terms of the number of creators and the types of creators, so the variety of creators. And last but not the least, and in my view, probably the most important, would be the virality of the content, which basically means talkability and shareability of the content. So when we start to build brands in this kind of a social first context, the role of AI is really to, one, ensure that the right messages in our brands are reaching the right cohorts at the right moment. I think that's the first one. The second one is really in terms of optimization, in terms of where is it, a check on the quality of the content and the context in which the content is being put out. So leading up to the point that you're making, Theo, which is on brand suitability, really the quality checks both on where it's deployed and the quality of the content. And last but not the least, it is really optimization of content in terms of where should the content be deployed, at what cost, across what media vehicles, etc. So I think that's the three ways in which we look at the role of AI. We're using 3 tools at Unilever. The first one is pre-bid. Pre-bid checks the quality of the content. It also checks where the content is getting placed. So I think that's the first tool that we use. The second tool that we are using for brand suitability is, of course, our AI studios. AI studios today are required, because the need for content is actually has gone up at at a pace which is multiplicative. We don't need incremental content, we need multiple content. So it's, to give you an example, our brand Vaseline today is using 6x the amount of AI content than it was probably last year. So that's the second type of AI that we're doing. And of course, the third type of AI tool that we are using is something that we called Smart Bid. And this is the one that allows us to place content depending on what, where, how, at the best and the most efficient costs for us. This is something that probably till some time ago would have been done manually, but now is an automated tool. And therefore, these are the tools that we're using at Unilever. Content across these tools and the data that we get from these three AI tools is something that is giving us insights, because these three AI engines are talking to each other. They're giving us data on content signals, performance metrics, and really impact on our brands. So that's what we start to see as we start to use AI, both for brand suitability, safety, as well as for optimization and maximizing value for us.
Thanks, Vandana. How about you, AJ?
So I think, thank you for the question. Nice to be here, everyone. I think it'll be helpful first if we define what are the biggest challenges that are facing us right now, at least from an agency perspective. And I'd like to enumerate three things, right? So the first thing is that I think what we've seen is that because of the tools and the AI that exist right now, we also definitely the scale of how content is able to be generated. But what it currently is challenging is that we need to have the sight to understand how all these different pieces of content work, not just for the brand, but across all platforms, right? So from an agency perspective, the first thing that we figure out is that what is the bird's eye view of the content that we have and the way it performs across different platforms, right? The second is, as Vandana mentioned earlier, context, right? So the first thing is we need to also understand the context in which the brand content exists within, right? And the thing with context, especially in walled gardens, is that it could change and it could evolve, right? So a seemingly innocent meme today could be a dangerous meme to be associated with the next day, right? So that's one characteristic that we're very conscious about, and ensuring that the context is always up to date, safe for the brand, right? And the third is the spend, right? Are we backing the right horse? Are we backing the right pieces of content? And then this is where the power of AI in terms of iteration and quick test and learns comes into play, because you can quickly get signals of what works and what does not, and then you can support and back it because of the effectiveness.
Thanks, AJ. So moving to the next, which is relates with the context itself. I'll try to explain a bit about our slides, which is the use of AI. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So basically, based on our GIR of or our global insights, that Southeast Asian marketers usually spend 11 hours and 45 minutes per week to manually optimizing the digital campaigns, and it's usually increasing during the big moments such as Ramadan, which will be coming in early 2026, right, which is in February. And we are seeing that the 30% of the consumer shopping are completely online, and then also the 54% of Southeast Asian consumer that are saying the highly target as it's improving their online shopping behavior. And also the contextual itself, it's increased the Indonesians and Malaysians favorable toward the brands. So it means that what you already said, context it's really important, right? And then the next part is we are also using AI to solving the problems that are coming from our neighborhood, which is in Malaysia, that they are running through social media platform, and we are using our technology in terms of, especially AI, in terms of pre-bid and also the contextual, to decrease the ad delivery and on the brand unsuitable sites, to decrease in the long tail in sites and apps, and also to improve the CTR. And based on that, especially in using of the AI itself, how do you leveraging AI to enhance the advertising effectiveness and efficiency? Maybe from Vandana.
Yeah. So I think it's an understatement to say that the media environment has changed. It has changed so dramatically in terms of both the media vehicles and the platforms that, and you're talking about some of these right now. And this requires that we start moving our resources dynamically. Because consumers are moving, and and therefore their time and attention is precious. We are moving from from an age where mastery of TV used to be key. And now we are moving into an age where, we need to master really performance and conversions on platforms. So that's the big change that we are looking at. At Unilever, we are working with a tool which is called Rapid ROI. It is something that gives us results in, much faster in terms of our return on investment, on where we are spending, how should we move our investments, and that's moving quite fast now. It helps us to dynamically allocate and move resources around. So gone are the days where you would, wait for months, or where we would wait for months on looking for post-launch evaluations or post-evals. It's now happening in real time, and this is what we are looking at to build fast forward. So, that's what we're looking at. So how do we look at the forward, how do we get a forward view fast is the mantra that we're working on internally.
How about you, AJ?
I think from an agency perspective, AI has been really useful in creating a next level intelligence in terms of how we understand the content, how we allocate the spends, and also how we measure our creativity, right? So let's say it's an elevated IQ that it allows us to be. And I think this is very important given the dynamism of how things can change online and how things evolve. So for example, in terms of the creativity, like before you even launch an asset live, you can use some of the tools like what we have internally, wherein we can have an agent that simulates the panel, or I mean the audience that we're targeting. And that gives us an idea of like how the creatives will initially be received, and then gives us a good indication of how we will deploy it. Obviously, we'll still have to learn once it's live, but prior to before, the learning does not start from the moment that it goes live. The learning starts from the moment that it gets prepared at the back end. The second thing is that in terms of learning from the performance historically, one of the biggest challenges, like what I said earlier, is that there's so many walled gardens and we have to really synthesize the learning, right? And because of the tools like the agents that we have internally, we're able to really put those learnings at a singular place that we can refer to, right? And both of those translate into us really being more confident that at any given time, the media spend is what is working for the brand at that time. So the allocation and the mix of channel is sort of like backed by the information that we are getting through their use of tools like AI.
Okay, thanks, AJ. Probably the question would be is for Unilever. So Unilever has been a long global benchmark for the purpose-led brands, and it's already partnering with DV. Thank you, Vandana. And as a global advertiser managing several brands with increasing pressure on marketing budget, how is Unilever specifically using AI to optimizing the media spend allocation and also campaign performance across your very broad and diverse portfolio?
Yeah, so I think the key tool I spoke about was what I spoke about earlier, which is really Rapid ROI, is the tool that we're using today. It's a tool that's giving us results fast. and it's helping us dynamically allocate resources, and that's what we're adopting, because that's really is what will help us move money around in terms of best utilization and maximizing value for our brands.
I see. Thank you. And also perhaps for AJ, especially from agency perspective, right? AI is unlocking new ways, right, to assess plan and also content. And with the clients demanding more efficiency from the agency partner, how does AI-powered tools and capabilities has WPP developed to help advertiser maximize the creative effectiveness and media ROI? And especially in this cost-conscious environment nowadays in Indonesia.
So I think I gave examples earlier, like how we are using AI to ensure that the creative assets that will be deployed is going to be effective, and also how the media money is allocated in terms of the media plan for that given time. But aside from that, I think what AI gives us is that it challenges us to really have a closer look at our playbooks and our guidelines, because those things could change in an instant, right? So I do believe that brand safety, suitability, viewability, these guidelines are defined by the brand with the partners that they have, such as agencies, right? And this is something that as a brand and the agency partner needs to define for themselves. What are the standards? What are the guidelines? Because most of the guidelines that have existed did not exist in a world where the content velocity is as we see now, right? So before, social media was like, I post something and then you measure it, all of those things, right? It's a bit more step by step. But now, because of the tools, consumers are given the power to create content in such velocity that it's hard to keep up, right? So having those principles in place, defined, allows for us to navigate it easier, right? And I'd like to believe in the challenge that we always try to address is that the way we learn and the way we measure should be as fast as the way content can be created.
Thanks, AJ. And perhaps before the last slides, I will try to share with you the last slide, which is our attitude towards AI. This is the case study that are happening within Indonesia with the CPG brands, that we are achieving lower brand suitable video ads without increasing the media cost. So the incident is decreasing after using the pre-bid, and the results itself is increasing also the overall brand suitability by 98%. It was no compromise on the brand KPI. And then it was our case and our attitude towards AI, which is the the questions for AG and also Vandana. If you could leave one key takeaway from the brands, agency, or tech partner and expertise within this room, what is one future-proof mindset or practice that they should adopt without losing their competitive edge or brand USP? And if you have some examples or any case study you want to share, is also can be shared within the panel.
Yeah, so thanks for the question. So I think, my view on AI is as follows. I think AI helps us become more efficient, but I think it's the human interface and what we do that makes it more effective. And the reason I say this is because, there is a need for us, and my ask of our partners is a need for us as we build brands with desire at scale, like I was mentioning, with the kind of volume, intensity of content. We need to make sure that our brands stay authentic and our brands stay coherent. And that is very, very important for us at Unilever. And therefore, what we are doing as a framework is building brand verses. All our power brands have a brand verse, and which talks about the details of the tonality of the brand, what the brand is all about, what it is not, and these are digitally powered. So how do we really use these brand verses in an effective way and ensure that everything that we're putting out on our brands is true to the voice of the brand, it's authentic, it's trusted, and that is also what will help us drive brand suitability.
And how about you, AJ?
I think it's been a very exciting few years when it comes to AI. The reason I'm saying that is that I think if we try to have an attitude that would help us face what is unexpected or what we don't know yet, I think it's those test and learn mentality that we've always done with our partners. Because it's only here that you are able to discover what is going to work and what is not going to work at that given time. Because trust me that whatever we know now could be very well not true in like a few weeks or a few months because of how the environment is changing. I was just reading the other day, and I came across this new platform that was launched by OpenAI, which is Sora, right? So the Sora, it's like a TikTok clone, and then when you download it as a user, you get to generate AI content and even tag the people that you're following.
Okay. Wow.
So there's no option for you to upload like a photo or a video. The only option for you to share is to generate a prompt to generate AI content. So it's essentially a platform that is all AI content generated content, right? So those things gives us time to pause and ask, like, what is brand safety and what is suitability in environments like that, right? And so that's why it's really important for us to be brave and test and learn, because we just cannot predict like how it will go through in the future.
Yes, because like if there is a community within Sora, it should be like another, not threat, but it's like a opportunity there. And how do we adapt with AI itself would be a very great opportunity to learn, and also to create another business opportunity, as well as how do we measure, and also how do we align with the context itself, right? And do you have some examples or anything you want to share regarding your experience basically with the AI, as I already mentioned before, Vandana or AJ perhaps?
So I think just last week we had the Jakarta Fashion Week, and Tresemme, our brand, was a key partner there. And I think the role of AI was vital because, it allowed us at that moment in that event to create content in hundreds, if not more. And for us to really be able to finesse it and deliver it, in over a few hours, and really amplify the messaging on the brand. So I think that's really the context of the brand, and the amplification and the enablement that AI is doing for our brand. So that would be the example.
It's great, it's great. And how about you, AJ?
So what I remember recently is that we were able to test the reaction or receptiveness to an asset because we were using like an agent that is built based on the consumer persona that we're targeting. So when we started to do that, that's when I realized that actually the learning is not something that starts when you go live. It's something that you start even in the planning phase. And those things that we do, such as that allows us to understand the plan, the content before it even gets live, gives us a bit more confidence in terms of ensuring that the plans that we create is really what's best for the brands that we work with. The second thing is that when we're having conversation with brands, it's like we want to ensure that we have clarity in terms of the guidelines and what we stand for and what we show up for. Because there's a lot of things that we cannot control because of this AI-powered world. But what we can control is how we show up as brands in these spaces. And in that clarity only are we able to address the unexpected and the things that we will be facing in the future.
Okay. And from my side is also, I have met several brands back then, and they also like showing their interest again with AI. But then sometimes there is a questions that keep really bothering in mind that would it be a threat for us? Would it be replenish our role? I mean, when I'm trying to convince them that AI is actually helping them, and it's not like it would not change the role, and it would be make their job is more easier, and they can have another allocation of time for doing another thing, especially. And what I summarize from here that especially the very first thing is the context. That is really important, especially when it comes to AI, right? And then the second thing, it should be the how do we adapt with AI and how do we optimize the tools that are we already use in daily basis for optimizing our work. And then that's the thing. And thank you so much, AJ and Vandana, for your time. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Happy to be
Thank
here.
you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
everyone.
very much to all of our panelists once again.